Hello Chinese viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel Nick. A few months ago, I released an episode on ENTJ and love questions. That was episode 55. And 55 episodes later, we are doing a part 2 of the ENTJ in love series. So love itself has many different stages, from attraction to courtship to relationship or even to breakups. So if you have any questions to ask regarding the ENTJ in love, do comment below or you can email us directly and we will just compile these questions and answer them in our part 3 of this series. Meanwhile, for this episode, I have 4 questions to answer and they are from our viewers. There is a disclaimer, I am explaining from the perspective of an ENTJ male. So if you are an ENTJ female and you also agree with me, do comment below to share. Okay, let's look at the first question. If an ENTJ likes a person, will he or she take the initiative? Well, answering from the point of view of an ENTJ, the answer is mostly yes. So first of all, if an ENTJ is interested in you, he or she is likely to make an assessment of you. So what is the assessment about? It's about the long-term potential with you. So if the ENTJ determines that you have a potential to be the lifelong partner and you can go on a very long-term relationship together, then he will take the initiative. However, if the ENTJ does not see this long-term potential with you but still likes you, he may initiate something like a fling, sex with you. It is possible. So take note, the ENTJ is very brave and is willing to take the risk. However, he must make an assessment first. Usually, the ENTJ is considered brave and is willing to take the risk. However, there are a lot of factors that he will also have to consider before taking this risk or crossing this hurdle. For example, your existing relationship with the ENTJ. So let's say the ENTJ likes you, but the two of you are colleagues. So he may then recalibrate and decide if you reject him, does this affect the relationship between the two of you? Is it going to be embarrassing for the two of you? Sometimes he may like you, but he may not take the initiative because he has taken these extra external factors into account. If the tables are turned and you are the one who chased the ENTJ instead, what might happen? Well, if the ENTJ likes you as well, then he will turn the tables again and take the lead. All you need to do is just to indicate your interest to the ENTJ. If the ENTJ does not see any long-term relationship potential with you, he may tell you. Then you might decide what might work out between the two of you. Anyway, because the ENTJ is a TE dom, so when I am giving an answer to your questions, sometimes it might seem to have a lot of different factors packed into one, but that is how an ENTJ thinks, because TE is a cognitive function that allows the ENTJ to think from many different points of view, finally reaching a conclusion. Okay, now let's look at question number 2. Is the ENTJ usually the one who initiates a breakup? Well, talking about breakup, the ENTJ is not very good at it. The INFP is much better at it. So in my personal experience, the INFP can say let's break up very easily. You can be walking along the street, you can be in a shopping mall, and suddenly she just turns around and say, we break up now. It's a very unpleasant experience. The ENTJ probably will not do this kind of thing if he initiates a breakup, he must have put a lot of thought to it. So is it true that the ENTJ is the one that usually initiates a breakup? Not necessarily so. If he does initiate, it means that he does not see any future between the two of you anymore. It is usually NI, introverted intuition, that feels not right, causing the ENTJ to want to break up with you. And this is not easy because TE is now in a tug of war with NI. The NI feels that something is not right with this relationship anymore, but TE wants to keep the relationship. Why? Because TE said, I have already invested so much. I have already made this commitment. So TE and NI will usually have a very fierce battle. It is not an easy decision for the ENTJ. If an ENTJ wants to have a breakup, he usually tries to do it very amicably. So he wants a very peaceful break. When that happens, you can be assured that there is justice because the ENTJ believes in fairness. There is also a proper closure. What may upset an ENTJ a lot is that there is no proper closure in any relationship. So sometimes, some people, they are rather immature or they are unable to handle relationship problems, so they just disappear, they just ghost, and they just delete the ENTJ off the life without any explanation and treat it as a form of breakup. This is extremely painful for the ENTJ because neither is there fairness nor is there closure. TE always tries to seek explanations, so when there is no closure, TE becomes very unsatisfied. It is very distressing. Well, if the breakup is not initiated by the ENTJ is very likely to be really heartbroken, because it is very likely that if he did not initiate this breakup, then he still loves this other person a lot. But he will choose to suffer alone. Why? Because of TE again. TE is this ability to think from another point of view, think from the other person's point of view. He realizes that even if he loves you, you won't stay even if he begs you. So if I say, "Che bye, che bye," you don't love me anymore means you want to go. No matter how I beg you, you won't stay. So sometimes you would find that the ENTJ just keeps quiet. It's not that he is being stubborn or he doesn't love you. He doesn't see the need to do so anymore because you have already initiated the breakup. We assume that you have thought about it carefully. We want to know why, but we probably wouldn't try to save the situation by keeping you. Asking you to stay or asking you to come back is futile. It's just like crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. This is very not TE. However, if our NI tells us that you actually want us to keep you, maybe we might do that. So again, this is a battle between NI and TE. One very sad thing about love is that the ENTJ uses TE, so he tends to make love very logical. However, love can be very illogical. So this TE and NI battle for the ENTJ can be really very distressing. But from my personal experience, NI always wins. If this relationship doesn't feel right, then we will pull ourselves out. We try to rationalize in the end and we will get over it. We will heal ourselves. So related to this point I am making, I am also answering a third question. So the third question is, does the ENTJ move on very quickly? So it is very similar to our second question. The answer is perhaps, not for sure. It depends on who initiated the breakup. Perhaps. It really depends on circumstances surrounding the relationship. However, one thing for sure is, if the ENTJ has moved on and no longer in love with you, then he has moved on. So there is no turning back most of the time. Of course, it takes a very long while for an ENTJ to move on. So perhaps after breaking up for 1 month, he still hasn't moved on. So if you want to patch back with your ENTJ, there's still hope and there's still chance, and there is a high chance. How long does an ENTJ take to move on? It really depends, because an ENTJ may love a person very deeply, and when that is the case, it is very hard for him to move on. Well, the tug of war between TE and NI can really cause an ENTJ to be very fixated and unable to move forward. I know that I should move on, but I still love you. I still want you. So it is very, very difficult for the ENTJ to actually heal that fast. May take a while. But younger ENTJs may find it easier, because younger ENTJs might practice displacement. That is, they might look for another lover immediately after you, and in that case, it is easier for them to move on. Mature ENTJs may avoid this strategy to try to move on. They really try to heal themselves by loving themselves. Okay, let's go to our last question, number 4. What do you regard as a good relationship? Okay, good question. Very hard to answer. So what I regard as a good relationship is when there is communication. Communication is very important for the ENTJ. Not only that, I think as a partner, you need to know why you have chosen me. What are my good qualities? You can tell me that you like me because I am committed. You can tell me you like me because I put in a lot of effort. You must acknowledge my good qualities. You must acknowledge my good qualities. And in turn, the ENTJ will be able to tell you what he likes about you and what makes him want to be with you forever. Now, the ENTJ can be a real sweetheart when it comes to love, but he has to find the right partner. Not everybody is right for the ENTJ. So I have done a few ENTJ compatibility series, so I have not exhausted all the MBTIs yet. So if you are interested, do watch out for those videos as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do remember, if you have questions to ask us and the ENTJ, do comment below. We will compile a list and we'll answer them all in one go. And if you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can continue to add value to you and bring you more ENTJ-ness. And I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye!